Hey guys, welcome back. Shadow Drone here. I thought I would make a quick video. I've done a few things in the last 2 days. I've actually had some time. Work's been busy, and I've had time to play a little. So let me just do a quick follow-up on my X-1 Spyder project, which is basically almost turning into another parrot. It's basically using the same design, but it's a hybrid version. What I've basically done is I've used the center piece platform from an F550, or I'm sorry, 450, the DJI version, as you can see. Instead of using the legs that came with the kit, I just went ahead and printed out a new setup, which you see here. And I got rid of the DJI style arms, because they only came to here, and they're very heavy. They're a lot heavier than the carbon fiber. And I did a conversion printout, which you can see here, which is basically 16 millimeter post holders for that specific frame. And those of you who know drones already know the frame design, so I'm not really doing anything new with this. This is a pretty well-known frame. Except for the fact that I modified it to take a 16 millimeter carbon fiber tubes to give it that wingspan. Anyway, I've currently I printed these out on a 3D printer, so I've got access holes here and here, and through the top riser. Okay, the top riser is epoxied on. Okay, so it lifts it above this primarily. My design concept is originally was to print out a platform to go with the Parrot canopy. Okay, the 680 Pro canopy, which is one of the coolest ones out there. Now, the thing is that purchasing these things in large quantities is a little ridiculous. All this is fiberglass. It's not carbon fiber, even though it looks like it, but it's not. It's fiberglass, which technically makes it heavier than an actual carbon fiber piece. Okay, and for me to spend, I got lucky on this one. I got it for like $30, but they've gone up. They're like in $40-50, and some places are actually trying to sell them for over $100. Yeah. To me, that's a ripoff, okay? So what I've decided to do, since I do have a 3D printer, and I was going to actually try to design this in 3D printing, but for it to print properly, it would take too long and use up too much material and be way too heavy, okay? So I decided to try something new. And so I'm going to show you. Basically, this is a platform. Now, this is version 1. It's already been redesigned. Okay. Basically, I'm reprinting one here, which is larger. Okay. And as you can see, it has pre-silhouetted cutouts. See that? The squares and the long lines for cabling to go through this. Now, this platform is 2 millimeters thick. Okay. And the cutouts are only 1 millimeter thick. So this will allow, if let's say I decide to sell these, this will allow a person to basically cut out where they want the wires to come through. So there's not too many holes in the platform, giving you more of an area to mount your components. Okay, the idea is to mount all components on the board, and keep them spread out enough so it's neat and easier to work on. Okay. So this new version 2 is currently printing out. So we'll see how that turns out. And back to this unit. Okay. The new version that you just saw that I'm printing is going to be actually the size to circle around here and come all the way back and then come to here. So basically you can use the existing mount holes and brackets. Okay. And then basically this would sit a little higher up. So it would be, this is a smaller version of it, but can still be used for something down the road, maybe for a smaller drone or whatever. Okay. Anyway, so back to this issue. Now these are really cool. These really make your drone look pretty pardon my French, badass. Okay. But they are kind of heavy, considering. And I've decided that instead of paying for these all the time, at $50 or more now, I'm going to make my own. Okay. And I'm not going to use a 3D printer because that gets too heavy. So I've decided to build and attempt some 3D vacuum molding. And the little pink feet over there is my wife walking around. Anyway, so what I've done is I've made a vacuum box. Those of you probably already know about this stuff, probably don't know, but I got a little crazy and I decided to build a vacuum box. Okay, it's basically a wooden box which has been sealed all the way around except for the top, and some pegboard put on the top. Shop vac. I have a half horsepower shop vac which plugs into here, and when you turn it on it sucks air through here. Now I'm going to be using polystyrene sheets, which you see here. The cost of this is roughly, these are 1 millimeter thick, and these are about $12 for one of these. There's 3 sheets in there. Okay, and as you can see, fits perfectly on there. Well, it does and it doesn't. The sheets are slightly too small to use these, but that's fine. I can always order more, and I've built this in a way so I can scale it down and make smaller parts if I really needed to, by using a plastic tape that goes. Let's say I make a smaller part, like for something like this, I can just tape up the areas I don't use and then make smaller squares and just use that. Okay. The other thing is styrene boards, really cheap, but of course they're not black, is the for sale signs. So I'm going to go today pick up a for sale sign, which is going to fit on this. This is 11.5 inches by 11.5. And I still have to make the frame that holds the sheets in place so you can just push it over. I'm making those out of steel, and I'm going to weld those. And I'm probably going to do that later today, but temperatures here have been 105 to 109 degrees. And so, and it's gotten so hot that even I brought in my LiPo batteries, guys. Check this out. Even though they were in those LiPo safes that I built and insulated, I just didn't want to risk it because, well, I didn't want to overheat the batteries and cause them to go kaput. So anyway, so this is what I've been up to lately. I'm also testing out a new filament that I purchased, which is what I'm using right now, the black. I ran out of black, and I ordered some. Normally the vendor that I get my filament from is the same vendor that makes my printer, but unfortunately they ran out of black, and the only way to get black is to buy a black and white roll, and I already have 2 white rolls. I don't need another one. So I went with another manufacturer, and this is the second attempt. This one, I bought another one, and it wouldn't print right, but it's not this brand, so I had to send it back. And I bought this one, and it prints beautifully. It even prints better than the manufacturer recommended one. So I'm gonna probably order a couple of these and just keep them on hand because black is used quite a bit. Anyway, so that's where I'm at right now with my project. So as you can see, this is morely going to turn into another parrot style design. So far I've got about, in this frame I've got about, let's see, $15 for the 4 carbon fiber tubes, and $22 for these carbon fiber motor mounts. Now, I was playing with the idea of doing motor mounts and making them, 3D printing them, but I would still have to pay for the aluminum brackets, even though you can print these out also. But considering something as important as a motor, and as far as fitment And as far as stability, I figured I can print 90% of my drone myself, but there's certain things I'm just gonna pay for to build it, because like I said, I can't make carbon fiber tubes. You know, I don't have the ability, nor do I ever think I'm gonna be able to make those, because it's just not worth it cost wise and all that stuff. It's cheaper just to buy them. But as far as everything else is concerned, it's going to save quite a bit of money if I can build the platform and the mounting platform and the canopies. That would save me already a ton of money. And as far as landing gear, same thing. I mean, my 3D printer will print tubes, but you have to also understand with 3D printing, you know, you've got a very narrow platform in the front, a 16 millimeter mounting on the plate. And then even if the printer goes around and around and around and around and around until it gets to this length, it's going to take hours. And it's not going to come out right, honestly. Not as good as it would this way. And it's probably not going to hold together well. So, like I said, there are things you can make and there's things you can't make. But the money you save and the things you can make is still a lot more than what you're spending on certain components. So anyway, I am looking into creating this as a model to sell. I kind of want input, everybody, what you think, if it's worth it. Would you buy it if it was available? Based on exactly what you see. Landing gear, electric landing gear, retractables. The foam I had left over from another landing gear set. I just put that on there because I kind of wanted to make it look a little different. And of course, with the carbon fiber tubing, what you recommend? Would it be worth more just to sell it as a center, the center system with the vacuum molded canopy and the platform, and just sell it like that, and just have people buy their own carbon fiber poles and engine mounts, because then this way they can make these any size they want. You know, if these right here are, I think they're 333 millimeter or 400 millimeter, in that range. If somebody wants to build one that's 500 millimeter, 600 millimeter, whatever, they would already have the center piece. So, and I'm pretty sure the center piece here, the way it's set, will support longer carbon fiber poles and bigger motors. Of course, we all know if this baby comes down from 200-300 feet, it doesn't matter what it's made out of, it's going to be damaged and broken. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now, guys. So let me know what you think. I appreciate input. If anybody has any suggestions, I'm more than willing to give credit. Or maybe what you guys are looking for as far as a built drone frame. Something that, you know, would be good to add to this, that, you know, a lot of people would like. I do know the design that I'm using right now, using a platform like this, but plugging these up so you can use it as a solid piece, or if you only want to punch out one or two of these, then you're able to just push through and it pops out, and there's your wire access, and then it still leaves you the rest of this canopy to mount components. Know what I'm saying? So once I get the once this other canopy is finished printing, I will post a video on the canopy and let you guys see what I'm talking about. All right, okay, guys, stay safe, fly safe, keep your heads down, and watch out for that COVID-19.